My name is Rick O'Brien. This is my son, Connor O'Brien. He's 11 years old. I'd like to tell you his story. He was born with cerebral palsy when we lived in Savannah, Georgia back in 2003. He was also born with holoprosencephaly and agenesis of the corpus callosum, which are midline defects, and that led to cerebral palsy. A short time after my father passed away in August of 2006, we were sitting in church, and we used to bring books along for Connor to read just to kind of keep him busy. He was about 3 years old at that time. Just one Sunday, there was a little boy in the pew behind us that kept looking over, reaching around, trying to see what was happening. And we just showed him the book and tried to say, hey, come read. Because I think kids are generally afraid they see somebody in the wheelchair. So he did that, and I think after a while his parents called him back to sit down in the pew. So then all of a sudden I felt a tap on my shoulder. And I looked around fully expecting to see the little kid trying to look over again, and there was no one there. And that kind of dawned upon me. I looked up, I said, okay, I'm listening right now. You have my attention. And it took me a while to figure out what he wanted me to do. And I started talking to some coworkers, and I finally figured out that he wanted me to write some books about differently abled kids or special needs kids. So his name is Connor James, so I figured CJ, and we always talked about all the special needs kids or differently abled kids being angel kids. So it just fit together. It was CJ and the angel kids. A little bit later, when we came from Savannah over to Mobile, I wanted to get a little bit more serious about it. And just recently, a couple years ago, I got a chance to talk to the authors of the Boathouse Buddies, especially Eileen Baskett. I met them over in Foley and for coffee, and really they kind of said, you can do this. It's a lot of work, but don't be afraid. Don't stop. We think this is a great idea. Keep pushing. So I finished book 1 at that time, but I was looking for an illustrator, and just tried one person that tried to illustrate and it just didn't work out. So I was kind of left hanging, and started talking to some people at Sims Elementary School, and they knew of a young girl, a 17-year-old, that was going to Sims High School. So I talked to her and her mom, and they're very much interested. So she started illustrating for the book, and over the summertime, and last year, about this time, we published the first book. CJ and the Angel Kids are a series of books. They're mysteries, which involve, there's 5 differently abled kids. Again, those 5 angel kids work with other kids in a camp. It's called Camp Talk A Lot. It's really mimicking Camp Jabberjaw, which we went to at Mississippi State a few summers ago. So some of these are from personal experiences. So really I start the original idea, the concept, write it, and then I hand it over to Andrea, and now Shannon Norris is going to be one of the other authors. They add their magic, and then we give the text to Morgan, then she does her illustration. Really the purpose of the books is to increase awareness, but also I think to make that their special needs or differently able kids are approachable by other kids. I think I see that when we go out, that they're afraid, they're nervous, and we don't want them to be nervous. They're all kids. We just want them to be able to interact. So I think increasing awareness that there are kids out there that sometimes need special help.